6-0 in the division because the rest of the division sucks.
This is the best division in football, Tori.
Take that step back. We are seeing the true quarterback that he really is, which he is not a very good quarterback.
Welcome to the Man Now, where we taking over. It's time to give you them facts. Won't miss a game or two, cause we here for you and we reporting all of them stats. We coming to you live to keep you updated. Broadcast across the country, be the fan favorite. Break the volume to the max and don't nobody touch it. We cross the topics off the list, addressing every subject. So if you ain't got a clue, then you can tune in and give it 24 hours and we back again. Breaking news, new scoops, we the top dogs. From the fields to the courts, we report it all. Buzzer beaters through your speakers, we the ones to call. Trust us for the news if it's got a ball. Giving you the top stories cause we love the turf. Tell a friend to tune in and where you heard it first. Yeah, you're listening to the Man Now. We taking over, it's time to give you them stats. Yeah, you listen to the Man Now. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them facts. Yeah, you listen to the Man Now. We taking over, it's time to give you them facts. Turn the speakers up a little loud. Miss a game or two cause we reporting all of them stats. Cause you listen to the Man Now.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckcuster here with the Man Hour. Be sure to head over to manhourradio.com and check out the merchandise page. Beastie merch is live. We have the hoodies, we have the joggers, got the t-shirts, got the backpacks. We got everything you could possibly need in the Beastie merch happening right there. Also, guys, we are working on a new t-shirt design. Hopefully, it'll be ready by November here. Brandon BC Combs is work on it like himself. So you for sure it is going to suck because let's just be honest, Brandon's not very good at art. So with that being said, guys, we do have a great show for you lined up for tonight. We do have Luke G from Luke G's Field Review join us here in about 30 minutes on his weekly Tuesday segment with us. We have Would You Rather coming up, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns. We're going to talk some Seattle Seahawks versus Saints Monday Night Football recap like a little bit. And of course, we're going to talk about Tori Anderson's Packers and the whole COVID-19 stuff that's happening over there right now. Speaking of Tori, that's right, guys. The man, the myth, the legend himself is back. What's up, Tori? What's up?
I was so pumped for tonight. It wasn't even funny. And then I started getting sick today. I am literally right now just trying to make it through as far as I can. If you hear me just randomly mute myself and see me coughing my head off, it's because I have already started pumping Dayquil, NyQuil, you name it, trying to get ahead of this. I think I'm a little too late for this, so I'm happy to be back. Like work is finally starting to calm down. As I said, things have slowed down while everything else sped up, which is always a good thing.
Yeah, it's always a great thing, and you know, I've been doing some solo shows here the last week or so, and I started to get good at it. But now you're like, no, you cannot get good at anything, Buck. So I'm going to come back and take your wrath. No, I'm totally kidding. But guys, speaking of being good, we are going to talk a little bit about the Arizona Cardinals and the Green Bay Packers coming up here on Thursday night game. Obviously, guys, the Arizona Cardinals are a very, very good team. They are undefeated. They are, 7-0 right now. This isn't going to be a clickbait title, you know, so we're not going to get like 500 dislikes before you guys even watch the video. But I digress on that a little bit. But, Tori, the Green Bay Packers are getting riddled by this COVID-19 bug floating around. Devontae Adams, Lazard is going to be out as well. So basically, it's going to be the whole receiver core at the end of the day. Are the Arizona Cardinals dodging this bullet that is the Green Bay Packers by everybody getting the Rona up in Green Bay?
I compare it a lot to when the Packers played the Chiefs last year without Mahomes. You know, it's not really a fair shake. Yeah, we can say, hey, we beat the Chiefs and they won the AFC, except you beat them with Chad Henne.
Right.
So it's not like Mahomes was playing. So I think the slim chance I gave Green Bay to win this game went out the window. However, my boy EQ St. Brown, I'm a huge Equinemius St. Brown fan. And I'm friends with him on Facebook, and I said, "This is your time to shine, my guy." Like Aaron's been trying to get him involved the last couple of weeks, so I'm pretty excited. I really hope he has a good game. I just don't think with all the stuff. I mean, we were already down 4 defensive starters last week. You're going in limping injury wise on your defensive side, anyways. That's not going to bode well against a very explosive. Arizona Cardinals offense. We're down. I don't want to say our top two corners, but we're down our top corner, and like our Kevin King's probably our third or fourth best corner. Like I will say, Eric Stokes. Eric Stokes is right now looks like a great draft pick, and he played better, probably than Kevin King ever will. So, but still, you're down two of your top four cornerbacks. That's not good going against an offense that's going to spread it out, and they are going to throw it all day long on you. The Packers struggle with a running quarterback. They struggle against teams that can spread it out and go deep on them, and that's where Arizona is going to take full advantage of that defense that's banged up right now.
Yeah, so a few things that you said there that I want to bring out is the Green Bay Packers struggle with a running quarterback, and I feel that's the reason why they went out and got Jalen Smith from the Dallas Cowboys after he was cut. Actually, I think they ended up trading for him, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope, they picked it. Nope,
Okay.
Picked him up as a free agent.
Well, and then they also picked up a free agent defensive lineman as well, right?
No, another linebacker, Whitney Merciless from the Houston Texans.
He will probably walk up and play some defensive end for him, I think. But
well, no, because the Texans switched from a 3-4 to a 4-3 and had him playing defensive end, but he's an outside linebacker,
right.
So they tried to have him put his hand in his ground, didn't work very well. So he came to Green Bay, and literally they threw him out there this week because of injuries, and all they said to him was, "You don't need to know the plays, just go after the quarterback."
Yeah, so getting those two acquisitions for the Green Bay Packers should help them with the mobile quarterbacks, right?
Not if your scheme's not good. And for whatever reason, I don't care who the defensive coordinator in Green Bay is, they seem to can't figure out running quarterbacks. You can only plan for so much. You can have you can assign a linebacker to spy on him for so long, but eventually you're going to have to break off of that. So I would love to say yes, but no matter what, we are still going to struggle against them, especially like I said, we have some guy named Garvin that started. I don't even know who that guy is. I never even heard of him before Sunday. Like, who? And I'm like, at least the other guys I'd heard of. So it's a mash unit right now out there on that starting defense.
Yeah, I'm really concerned about the Arizona Cardinals starting to overlook the Green Bay Packers a little bit, just because of like all this hype for this game was being built, but now the Green Bay Packers are dropping like five flies because of the COVID exempted list. So with that being said, are the Arizona Cardinals getting a little bit of an out on this game? Or sorry, let me rephrase that here. Are the Green Bay Packers getting an out on this game if they get blown out because of all of the sit-outs that they'll have for this week with Adams and Lazard and possibly more on the way?
Kind of, but when it comes down to it, you're still a professional athlete. You're supposed to be ready to play. You're supposed to go out there and play. So I think what could cushion that blow a little bit for them is if they can bring MVS back off of the injured reserve list this week. Does not sound like it's going to happen. So that's going to leave us with probably Randall Cobb is our number one, which the last time Randall Cobb was our number one receiver, we did not have a good season. That's how we ended up like 4-12 or 6-10 or whatever it was. EQ will probably be our number two. Amari Rodgers will probably play the slot. Like, you're going to see an entirely different cast of characters out there. The only good news is that Aaron's been in rhythm with most of those guys. Like, you've seen it the last 2 weeks. Equanimeous St. Brown, Aaron has been getting him involved. For whatever reason, well, I shouldn't say for whatever reason, the guy's been injured. Like, ever since he came to the Packers from Notre Dame, he was like a 6th round pick. And, he's like 6'8" or whatever. He's a really tall, really strong receiver, but he just never could stay on the field. This year, he's finally stayed healthy, and I think we're going to start to see a little bit. That's going to soften the blow a little bit of losing a Lazard or a MVS, because those are usually our blocking wide receivers. He's a good blocking wide receiver. The big loss there is you don't replace Davante Adams. You don't replace the best receiver in the league with anybody.
Right.
You know, so that's going to be the biggest loss. What it's going to force Aaron to do is get Robert Tunyon a little bit more involved. You're going to see Mercedes Lewis get a little bit more involved. You're going to see Aaron Jones a little bit more involved into the passing game. It's like I said, you're not going to recognize some of the names that you see getting receptions this week. That's how bad it was. It'll probably be Malik Taylor. Will probably be the number 4. So it'll be an interesting week. I do expect the Arizona Cardinals to win by at least 13 though.
So let me ask you this question here, because usually when things like this happen, it prepares you for later down in the season. With the Green Bay Packers playing like this kind of still early in the NFL season, right? Actually, we're almost to the midpoint, like almost now, it seems like. Are they going to be better and better off for this in the long run?
Missing reps is missing reps no matter what.
Right. But also not taking 20 hits in a game is also helpful in a 17-game season too, right?
I agree, but they have a stretch here. They have a 6-game stretch going into their bye week, and it starts right here with the Arizona Cardinals. We got the Cardinals. We've got the Seahawks when Russell Wilson's probably going to be back. We've got the Kansas City Chiefs we'll see what happens with Mahomes. Like, I haven't heard any updates on Mahomes. So
I heard he cleared concussion protocol and he is good.
So. I hope so, because that was awful. Like the hit that he took. Like, I was like, ooh, that's not pretty when you take a knee to the face and your head snaps back like that.
Right.
Like, and you could see it in his eyes when he was not there when they took him off the field. Like, he was in la la land. But
like that whole season.
Yeah. So like, the thing is they have a really good chance to prove who they are. And the one thing I didn't realize, because all I do is yell about our defense on Sunday, is that they brought up, they said, if you took away the Saints game, the Packers defense is a top 5 unit.
Really?
And I said, like, statistically wise, they'd be top 5. And I'm like,
wow,
how? You don't allow people to go 15 for 15 in the red zone and be a top 5 unit statistically. But so I just don't. I don't know. We'll see what they're made of over the next few weeks. So the big test for me is playing that Kansas City Chiefs team, which is what I think 3 or 4 weeks from now. And they should be back to full health. And I really hope that the Chiefs go into that game fully healthy as well, because I think that'll be a fun game. I think this Arizona game right now, I think you're correct. They get a pass on this game because they're going to be down everybody. And Aaron Rodgers is going to do Aaron Rodgers things, except he's still human. And that's just not going to be enough to overtake the Arizona Cardinals.
Exactly right. Luke G chimes in and he gives them the most waffle answer ever. #waffle in the chat here. He says, Packers may still win.
No, not a chance.
#waffle. That is the most wide answer ever right there.
I will tell you flat out right now that if I am a betting man, which I am not taking the Green Bay Packers in this game.
Well, I am not going to take either team yet, one way or the other. But the question that I am going to ask you is this a NFC Championship game preview? The Arizona Cardinals versus the Green Bay Packers?
It could be. I mean, literally, you could take, is it going to be the Packers and the Rams? Could be. Could it be them, the Cardinals? Could be. Could it be Dallas and Arizona? Could be. I mean, the NFC is wide open. Like, could it be Tampa Bay and Arizona? Most likely. I would say right now that's the most likely scenario.
Okay.
But I just, people want to say like, oh, the AFC is so loaded. The NFC is pretty loaded itself. The only pretender I see in there of all the top teams right now is the Cowboys. That's the only pretender team.
Really?
I think the Cowboys will fall off.
Okay, so let's go there a little bit. So you are saying that the Dallas Cowboys are pretenders. So them right now flexing on defense, offense is clicking on all cylinders. They are like a 60-40 pass to run. Definitely not Mike McCarthy's MO by whatsoever. You think the Dallas Cowboys are pretenders in the NFC?
100%. Absolutely. They play in the NFC East. You play in the weakest division in all of football. The Dallas Cowboys are a 3rd or a 4th place team in almost any other division. versus the NFC East. I could go start for the Cowboys and win 12 games against the NFC East.
Okay, Tori, pump the brakes like a little bit here. I understand that they're all NFC East or the NFC least, like they said last year. Let me take a page out of Combs' book here. Here it is. Oh, not this one. Hang it on to 2016. It's this one. You play what is in front of you. So when the Dallas Cowboys played against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they went toe-to-toe with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, throwing the ball like 55 times like in the game. Okay, whatever. Then they beat a very good Rams team. Like the Dallas Cowboys, they are no way pretenders, Tori. They are a good team. They are a Super Bowl bound team. They are better than the Arizona Cardinals. They are better than your Green Bay Packers. They are better than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now too. Yes, I know they lost, but I would rather have I'd rather have the Dallas Cowboys right now than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, hands down. There's no way they're pretenders, Tori. No freaking way, man.
100% they are. They lost to the Buccaneers. They beat the Chargers at the Chargers, which is a good win. They beat the Eagles. I could beat the Eagles. They beat the Panthers, who have fallen off. They beat the Giants, and then they barely beat the Patriots. So they have the only competition that they've really faced outside of the Chargers is the Buccaneers, and they lost to them.
So you're telling me that the New England Patriots aren't very good?
They're a 500 team at best.
They're
still starting a rookie quarterback.
Which is looking to be the best rookie quarterback, right?
No. Are you talking about this year or overall?
Yeah, no, this year.
Oh, this year, yeah, because overall, I still think it's going to be Justin Fields. Which
really?
As a Packer fan,
okay,
is really hard to say, and it's really scary.
Well, maybe we'll talk about that here in Would You Rather here. But speaking of Would You Rather, guys, it is time for some Would You Rather before we bring on Luke G here in about 10 minutes here on the Man Hour. But Would You Rather is brought to you by Yeats Sunglasses. The link is in the description, guys. Go to yeatsoriginal.com and use promo code MANHOUR, and they'll save you up to 20% on your sunglasses. It is just like Oakley's, but half the price. yeatsoriginal.com. Link is in the description. So, Tori, are you ready for the third best segment here on the Man Hour?
You mean my segment?
The third best.
Oh, wait. Oh,
do you want to do a Tuesday with Tori?
I was looking forward to all week, and I don't know if my voice is going to hold up. Well, that is the big thing.
Do you want to try it? Do you want to try Tuesdays with Tori?
No, we will. I would love to do Tuesdays with Tori, but I think we're gonna hold Tuesdays with Tori till Sunday when I feel better. So we're gonna do a Sunday Tuesday with Tori.
There we go. So we'll do a Sunday Tuesday with Tori, which that is, guys, is brought to you by Skull Candy headphones. So be sure to go to skullcandy.com. Link is in the description. When you click the link, it'll save you guys 20% on your headphones. So Tori, let me ask you this question on the first Would You Rather of the night, brought to you by Yeats Sunglasses. So would you rather? So obviously Monday Night Football was last night, and ESPN must be struggling for content just because they're showing Monday Night Football on ESPN and ESPN2. ESPN1, the original, has the actual game happening, right? And then ESPN2 has a Peyton and Eli version. Basically, what Combs and Soup Boss are doing on the Man Hour right now, they are reacting to a game, having a conversation, having fun, right? So would you rather actually watch the Monday Night Football game with the commentators or watch it with Peyton and Eli reacting?
Just because it's Peyton and Eli, I would rather, because those two are actually freaking hilarious.
Right.
Like those two are really good. One of my favorite Saturday Night Live skits ever is the Peyton Manning skits. Like the guy is comedy gold. Eli's actually pretty funny, especially with his fire that he threw at Tom Brady on the tweet about I'll save you a seat in Canton when they induct me into the Hall of Fame. Like, I would, just because of who they are and kind of their demeanor, I would absolutely love to listen to them because they're still brothers. They're still going to argue with each other.
Right. Yeah. I see what you're saying, and that they are funny to an extent. But I tuned into the ESPN a little bit too last night when I was scraping the wallpaper off of my walls before I started painting today, and it is almost like they're trying to force the comedy almost. So they had Marshawn Lynch on there, and it seemed very, very forced. When people are the most funny and the most hilarious, is just like when they're relaxed, just spitballing, and like whatever rolls off your tongue rolls off your tongue. Much like what we do here on the Man Hour. I am freaking hilarious because I just say what I want, when I want, how I want, and I feel like last night a little bit was forced. So that's why I would rather actually watch the commentary on ESPN, because for one, Booger McFarland isn't on there, and he was absolutely horrible. And now they need to cut Steve Levy because he is trying to be too much like Tony Romo. It seems like, but maybe they'll work it out eventually. But I'd take ESPN.
And Steve Levy's been there forever, which
Yeah.
for him to try to, you didn't play in the league. You don't read defenses. You haven't studied the amount of film that like Tony Romo has. So like for you to try to like dissect and say, oh, this is the formation one. This is probably what they're going to run here. Don't even try it. This is the one thing that like I really do enjoy listening to Romo about, because he's right 90% of the time.
Yeah. He is right all the time. Sorry. There was a hashtag waffle that came across the screen, and I'm kind of confused of what I'm waffling about, but whatever. So the next Would You Rather, Tori, brought you by Yeats Sunglasses here, yeatsoriginal.com. My link is in the description here. I obviously have two boys. So my boys are getting to the point where I can carry them, and their feet are right about my crotch area, right? So when they get the swing in their legs, bada bing, bada boom, sometimes you get a little nut tap, you know what I'm saying? But then the oldest one punched me in the throat earlier today. So Tori, I gotta ask you this question. Would you rather get kicked in the boys or punched in the throat?
Kick me in the boys. That's gonna go away a lot quicker. Punch in the throat has a lot more permanent implications. I don't have kids, so I would love to say I would forgive them, but I'd be like, nope, there'd be an ass whooping coming.
Yeah, so
punch me in the throat.
Tori, you are so being a parent of like two boys, right? You have to be a man. You can't show weakness, right? When my little one punched me right in my Adam's apple, take it, he's 1 year old. There's no weight behind that punch whatsoever, right? I'm like, no. I felt like I was getting deep pounded throated with the 12-inch donger, right? And it like I could not like it was there for like 10 minutes. Granted, when you just nick the balls a little bit, like the pain's there, but you know, you can kind of like grab it and like, man, okay, awesome. But man, a throat punch, there is no trying to man that up. Like you are down, you are out.
I thought it was the 3-year-old that did it. I thought it was your oldest.
Oh no.
Did it. Not the youngest. Yeah, there'd probably be no butt whooping for the youngest because he's one and really probably doesn't know what he's doing.
Oh hell,
the 3-year-old's like, go for the throat, whap.
Hell, dude, my trip is this kid is going to be a problem child, man. Like he like looked at me, smiled like whack. I'm like, oh, you son of a, oh man, I was so mad. Choke slam him and like into the bed. No broken collarbone this time though. so moving on for the next Would You Rather before we get Luke G in, and we still have to go to break here. Obviously the Kansas City Chiefs right now, Tori, are suffering what is called, quote, the Super Bowl loss hangover. We've seen it with the 49ers and the previous teams, you know, that they don't make the playoffs like the previous year. So I'm going to ask you this question. You are a NFL head coach right now, and you lost the Super Bowl the previous year. Would you rather just miss the playoffs or just get totally destroyed in the regular season and get a top pick moving forward?
Give me the pick. Every time, give me the pick. You know, there again, people are pushing the panic button on Kansas City a little too early. You have essentially a reconstructed, brand new built offensive line.
Yep.
Like it's going to take time for that to gel. They've got good people. It's just not cohesive yet. It will get there. But absolutely, if I'm going to go to the Super Bowl one year, give me the tank job. let us get that top 10 pick because we're going to probably get an impact player that's going to help us no matter what. And let's see the Detroit Lions and you draft wide receivers 3 years in a row.
Is that a shot at Luke G that we're getting ready to bring on here in like a
Little bit.
So I talked a little bit about the Chiefs offensive line last night. We're going into week 8 of the NFL season and they had off season, but I digress on that. When you get beat down in the regular season, that is demoralizing to you as a fan. Now, I'm still going to be a diehard Kansas City Chiefs fan through and through. Luke G is still going to be a Lions fan through and through. You're still going to be a Packers fan no matter what. But 9 times out of 10, when you get, quote, beat down and you get 4 to 5 wins in the season, you're still going to get like a 10, 11, 12 pick. I would rather just miss the playoffs so I can at least like move down a little bit in the draft just so like my picks are like not so like raw, right? You know what I'm saying? So give me just barely miss the playoffs just because I still have some hope going into the next season. Like I don't want to get beat down.
Ask Bengal fans how that feel when they would just make the playoffs and then lose in the first round.
No, just miss the playoffs. I don't want to make them. Like I still want a top 20
but still
pick.
So if you just miss, you're still getting like pick number like 20. Give me the top 10 versus like pick 20.
Yeah, whatever, man.
Because so if you're a GM, you want those phone calls coming in, because if somebody slides and you're picking at number 9 or number 10, you're going to get a lot of phone calls for people that want to slide into your pick, and you are going to be able to charge whoever the player is. If like it's a good player that slid, you are going to be able to charge a king's ransom for it.
Okay, so Mr. GM, you are the head coach. You're not the GM here, Tori. Come on, man. Get out of here. So let me bring on my man Luke G here for the last Would You Rather, because the Detroit Lions have really never changed their uniforms ever. So the next Would You Rather here, guys, it is going to be to the throwback uniforms. Last Sunday, the Green Bay Packers wore some god-awful, ugly gold and piss green uniforms. So I'm going to kick it to you first, Tori. Would you rather wear the Packers throwback uniforms from last Sunday or the Pittsburgh Steelers Bumblebee ones with the black and yellow stripes?
Give me the Bumblebee every single day of the week. The Bumblebees aren't that bad.
What?
Like the pants are awful. Like the brown pants are awful that are with them, but they have the brown pants, right? Or is that the Broncos? That had.
Yeah, I thought they were all striped. It was striped from head to toe, right? Even the socks.
Still give me the Bumblebee. Like that uniform that Packers wore on Sunday was just awful.
I liked it.
I felt like it was a terrible color rush jersey that got put out there. Like there's some things you just don't mess with, and the one thing is like the Packer jerseys, like some of the other ones they did with the midnight blue and the yellow, like with the circle that like was from like the 30s and stuff like that. Those weren't terrible. With like the whatever color helmets that we had, I didn't mind those. But these are like the uniforms from like 53 to 55, and they should just never wear them again until 2053 or 55.
Facts. Luke G, the Lions seem to always have those great silver helmets with like their throwback jerseys. But would you rather wore the Packers ones from Sunday or the Bumblebees from Steelers?
The Packers one. To me, the Bumblebee one is going to be like that because we know what came with the Bumblebee. We know about the steel curtain and all the years of the Steelers' history. That's why we jumped to that one and levitate. But the Packers one, I thought was nice to see a little bit of a darker green on them. I thought that the pronounced yellow numbers was a sight to see. I don't understand why he's down in that uniform. I mean, you could be worse. You could have the light blue and yellow that the Eagles have, right? Like, to me, I think what they did was they said, let's take a traditional look, put a modern spin on it, and I thought it worked. I liked it. I really did like it. I thought it looked nice. You know, it gave me all type of exorcism, pea soup puke look, and I liked every bit of it.
Yeah.
I gotta know if you're trying to take shots at them or like praise them with the puke peas soup, and then
No,
I
mean, listen,
liked it. Like I'm kind of confused, Luke.
it's Halloween. It's
Okay,
Halloween, and I
okay.
figure I might as well give a little Halloween reference to one of the greatest
Ah.
movies of all time with The Exorcism. So, The Exorcism of we got all the ones with Emily Rose and so forth, but it all started with The Exorcist. And so to me, I'm just saying, you got to put some respect on it. I mean, I came with Halloween jokes and everything today. I'm feeling good about it. We're a couple days out. It's one of my favorite holidays. So yeah, I'm ready for it.
All right, guys. So as you guys are hearing that beautiful voice right there, that is Luke G. Luke G is from Luke G's Field Review on YouTube. Link is in the description, guys. So be sure to go ahead and subscribe to his channel. He puts on great content. As much as he can over at YouTube. Like I said, link is in the description, and he will be joining us every Tuesday at 8:30 East Coast time moving forward here on his weekly segment. But Luke, before we get too carried away, give the people a better understanding of what your show is all about.
So essentially what it is I basically started a channel that's all dedicated to the Detroit Lions football medium right now, because I think that there's a misrepresentation in how the medium of the Lions is being covered. And so what I did was I decided to take that and say, no, let's put football in a perspective. Let's put football in a way where people can actually understand why these things are happening and what's going on. Most people hear the Detroit Lions and they go, oh, that team just sucks. Nobody asks the why. Nobody asks why this team that sucks has so many Hall of Famers. Right, we're one of the most Hall of Fame having teams, and people don't understand why. But what I do is I take that and then I take film and I show you why. I do film breakdown on draft picks. I do film breakdown on games, and then I'll go back on games and I'll let you know, hey, you thought it was this moment that caused them to lose the game, but there was 4 plays before it that really was the result of them losing the game, i.e., the Baltimore Ravens. So those games stand out to me, and I take all of that, wrap it up in a nice little nutshell of a boat, and say, hey, look, this is what you're going to get when you come over here. You're going to get Lions content that's true and blue, where you have an opportunity to not only come on and question me, but I welcome it. Feel free to join me and tell me I'm wrong, and we have fun with it.
Well, I got told I was wrong when I said the Lions were going to go 11-7, and I have put a curse on your boys there, Luke. Like, they are dead to me. I will never pick them to win 5 games over in a season ever again. Because the last 2 seasons, I'm like, oh, they got 8 wins in them. They got 9 wins. This year, I went on a ledge. I said 10. I'm like, no. Let's give them 11. Come on, man.
Realistically, though, I mean, were you really off though? I mean, they had an opening day that was completely ran the hell out of the building by the thing, but they put in a dog fight. And they did that with a multitude of people out. You come out the second week, they scared the living hell out of the Packers coming out really quick and fast, and had Packers fans in that stadium quiet for at least a half.
I was there.
And then you turn around and go to the game against the Ravens. It took the breath of God for a kick to bounce off the pole and over, and they could have ended that game if they just went for the first on 3rd and 9. The next week after that, you had another close game against the Vikings where, again, a kicker who just missed a kick that was closer now all of a sudden can make it further. And it was his record kick. So you have these scenarios where the Lions are in games. The only game where they were never in it was the Cincinnati Bengals game. And, yeah, that should have been a game they should have won. But I can tell you this much, that if you just take a few of those games and turn them around, you're talking about a different story. If that kick don't go over the crossbar, or the Lions don't have a few things change in the Viking game, or even in this last game they just had against the Rams, where I'm trying to figure out why are we throwing the ball right there when they can't stop us from running it. These little things that you look at is what makes me say, you know what, your prediction wasn't off. They're just, the injuries are added up, and they're doing all of this with 3 of their starting cornerbacks out. Their starting left tackle is out. Their starting Pro Bowl center is out. They got a rookie who practiced all summer long at right tackle after sitting out a year, and then they just said, to left tackle you go. And he basically had a field day with Aaron Donald. So, look, you wasn't that far off. It's just sometimes It's about finishing games, and that's where it is. The end result, what people look at, but overall, you would be spot on if some of those games go the opposite way.
So basically, what I heard you say, Luke, is I won the lottery. If I wouldn't have picked 41 instead of 40, I would have picked 36 and 32 here.
That's a very good point.
Like I would have won the lottery if things just would have bounced to one way or the other right. But at the end of the day, I didn't win the lottery, and at the end of the day, the Lions are 0-7.
And I get what Luke's saying. However, and Luke and I talked about this when I was on his show, about a month and a half ago. This is it's a team that needs to learn how to win.
Yep.
They hold themselves in a different way. This is not like the same old Lions, like where everybody's like, you don't see them kicking themselves around.
Nope.
You see them picking themselves up. And that's where I really feel that the Dan Campbell influence is that, yeah, we're going to lose some games, but don't you damn well hang your head. We're going to still go out. We're going to fight. We are going to give everybody our best shot, because guess what? Nobody expects us to fight at all.
Nope.
And that's where that's the start of the culture change. And you're not going to see it this year. And Luke, I did tell you that you will not see it this year.
Well, we could have, but them injuries added up, man. I mean
you can poop in one hand and wish in the other, and tell me which one fills up first, though.
Wishes
always fills up. I mean, clearly. Right?
Okay, so mark my words right here, right now. This October 26th at 8:36 p.m. East Coast time. Lions next year get 12 wins. 12 wins next year.
Said 5 minutes ago that you would never pick them for more than 5 or 6 wins.
Backtracking. #waffle.
See, fair enough. Right. Give him his time. Give him his time. Reclaim your time. You got it.
All right.
Right now, if you look at
it's 2 years. 2 years from now, they're going to be one of the best teams.
I don't think it's going to take that long. I don't. The history doesn't say that. And the scary part is you can go through and look at it. The Cleveland Browns. You go through and look. If you go back further than that, I remember the Detroit Lions destroyed the Dallas Cowboys, who at the time was the youngest team in the NFL back in the 90s. And then after they destroyed the Dallas Cowboys with that young team, they come back the next year with a year underneath their belt at the only winning one game, and I think they won the Super Bowl. So, and I'm not saying that the Lions going to win the Super Bowl or anything like that, but they'll be so much more improved, especially if they could just get the ball out of the hands of a particular quarterback. That's the story.
Can you tell me that one more time? I missed it. Did you say the Lions were going to win the Super Bowl?
No. What I'm saying is
talking about the Cowboys. It was 2 years. It was 2 years after they went 1-15 that the Cowboys.
I was trying to set it up. I was trying to clickbait a clip in and saying that Luke G was going to tell them we're going to win a Super Bowl.
No. I'm definitely not going to say that. We got. I'm saying that we can be 2 years out. I'm saying that we have a lot of similarities to that team, as we did to a lot of the other teams in the NFL history who do come out and have one of those crappier first years, like like the Browns did with Steph Jesus
Baker.
Yeah, how he everybody thought Baker was he was done, and then next year they was like, they took the ball out of his hand for the most part and they ran it, and that's kind of what they did. And I think that's what the Lions should do too. But it's one of the things you look at, you say okay, cool. But to me, I'm encouraged. I feel good because we at least have a coach. I want to play for him. So I think we are in a good direction, headed that way, and I think that you can respect what the Lions are doing.
Okay, so Luke G, we bring you on here every Tuesday to promote your show. You have a great show happening over there, but we also give you a platform to speak about anything that you want. So this is the Luke G segment right here for the next 15 minutes. You can talk about anything you want except for my Kansas City Chiefs being horrible. We'll just go ahead and skim over that. So Luke G, what do you want to talk about tonight, man?
I want to talk about the expectation, or I should say the lack thereof, of coaching versus talent. And I think this is something that we are overlooking. And ironically, I got to start with your Kansas City Chiefs. And so when you start to look at this thing of coaching versus talent, many times the fan bases that come out, they always say, man, we got so many good players, and we downplay the level of coaching. And then when all of a sudden they're losing, it's all of the coach's fault because these players are so good and the coach should be doing this and the coach should be doing that. But the reality is this. When you go through and you look across the league every single year, the coaching part of it is where chess happens in football. Right now, this happened to Andy Reid before when he was on the Eagles. He ended up getting figured out. And right now, they have them figured out. And the figured out part is Kansas City can't run the ball. So I'm not concerning myself with the run game. I'm going to take away all of his passing lanes and send the house at him, and good luck. Now, how do I know this? As a Lions fan, I watched this happen 12 years to Matthew Stafford. No one lined up and said, stop the run. And right now, what you're seeing is a bunch of people who is lined up with the Kansas City Chiefs and saying, stop the run. But it doesn't just stop there. You flip that around and you go over to the Bears, a team that many people want to sit there and say, oh, God, we got to get rid of Matt Nagy. We got to get him out of here. But the reality is this. As bad as Matt Nagy has been, could the possibility be that there is no talent on that side of the ball? Maybe that the quarterback is too young to do anything of a difference. Or could it be that the quarterback can only be as good as the people you put in front of him to block? Is that a coaching issue or is that a personnel issue? And what I find is our fan base has a tendency to simply just look at the glass half empty or half full. But the reality is that these things have correlations. You go over to the New England Patriots, and everybody says, hey, the Patriots ain't done nothing since Tom Brady left, and Tom Brady's won a Super Bowl. But it's not like Tom Brady went to the Detroit Lions and won a Super Bowl. He went to a team loaded with receivers upon receivers and then got one of the best tight ends in NFL history to come out of retirement to play with him again. A team that's so loaded at tight end that they lost a tight end and still never lost a tight end. I don't know how this is possible, but they did it. And yet, we're talking about how great Tom Brady is versus how great Bruce Arians has been. So what I'm trying to do is get the fan base to understand this. If you are looking at a game, rather than go into it and say, well, we got this player because my fantasy team is killing it, or we got that player because he's my cousin, or I know he's really, really good, or whatever the case may be, ask yourself, are they winning these games based on coaching? And the truth is, most of these games are being won by coaching. Perfect example, Mike Vrabel. Nobody's over here singing the praise of saying that Ryan Tannehill's a top 10 quarterback. No, yet they're finding ways. Of course, Buck on Brady 10. They're finding ways to still win games by utilizing the coach's ability to say, here's my strength and here's my weaknesses. I need to play to my strengths. And if you flip that and you toss that all the way over, you can go over to another team doing a similar thing where people are not willing to give praise. And the coach, a.k.a. Frank Reich, another guy who I look at and I say, this team is only afloat because he's constantly changing up what they're doing. But now what they do, they want to go back and they want to talk about all the bad coaches. Now we got to put people like Kyle Shanahan on the hot seat. Not questioning the fact that you got a lot of people hurt, not questioning the fact that he continues to get injured players and personnel issues are constantly being changed on him. We as a fan base have to start to identify football differently. The coach cannot be the scapegoat when it's convenient for us, and the players cannot be the scapegoat when it's convenient for us. We have to be able to have a consistent argument when it comes to these things. And for me, it starts with the coach. The Lions is probably the best 0-17 I've ever seen in my life. Like, they are the best. And notice I said 0-17 because most people think we're not going to win a single game. And it's not true, but I'm going to play into the mindset of you, the fan base. You, the person who believes that these things are true. And it's the real reason you believe many of these things that are true is simply because the media has given you a false narrative. They'll tell you that there's something wrong with Patrick Mahomes when the truth is they just figured out what Andy Reid is doing. That's it. And they figured it out because there's a process of elimination. They don't have a running back. Nobody's afraid of their running game. It's easy. The media will tell you that, oh, Dan Campbell has got too many antics. But the media can't stop talking about him. They can't stop being in love with him. They can't stop focusing on him because he is something to look at, and it's motivational, and it's got people paying attention. And it's not just in our organization. There's a multitude of people who are looking outside of it. So when I look at these games and I go down the list on each one of these games, I can see where a team has been lost. All I kept hearing when the Bills was winning is how great Josh Allen is. When they lost, how stupid McDermott is. And that's not how it works. We have to be able to take that same scale and be fair in our assessment between talent versus coaching. So I'm asking you, the fan base, to do your research. I'm asking you to simply ask yourself one question. One question. Do I have a guy making decisions as a whole for my team that can get me a divisional title? Do I have a guy making decisions for my team that can get me into the playoffs, that can get me to a NFC or AFC championship game? And if your answer to that is yes, then you have a good coach. Now you need to start to look at the other problems of the team and figure it out. Because one thing I know is this, that the best organizations like the Pittsburgh Steelers, who's only had 3 coaches in their entirety existence, is teams that are winning consistently because they understand the common thing about sports. Sometimes you will win and sometimes you will lose, but you have to stay the course. That is my field review report of my 15 minutes of time, open to questions and discussions and scrutiny. I'm all for it. But that is the reality. We have to be better in understanding if it's the blame of the coach or the talent. And in most cases, it's probably just your coach. Probably is.
Tori, what are your thoughts on that?
So what I heard Luke say is that pretty much everybody should be just exactly like me, then look at it thing, logically and level at it, and like
I'm pretty sure I didn't say that, but we're gonna go with it for the purposes of
So like it's one thing that I really try to do, and like even Wyatt will get mad at me a little bit sometimes because like, can you just look at things as a fan one time instead of just looking at things logically? I do the same thing. I break it down and be like, okay, what happened? Like week 1, Packers against the Saints. The play calling was terrible. And it was a culmination of things. The team did not play well. The team was not prepared to play. That was on the coaching staff.
Mhm.
The players played lackadaisical, and that's on the players. That's a perfect storm to get annihilated in a game. Like you have to share that blame equally on both. And I will say that's the one thing LaFleur said after the game. He said, I didn't have my team ready to play. My game plan wasn't good, and I take full responsibility for that. So, and they reeled off 6 wins after that, which I will tell you, if you've ever listened to any Packer fan radio show, like I swear to God, like everybody wants to jump off the cliff after one loss, like fire everybody, trade everybody. It is the most pathetic thing that you will ever listen to. And I would tell you, if you get a chance, listen. I off air, I'll give it because I don't know if I could say it on air what the radio station is. They have an app and you can listen to it. You want to listen to a bunch of crybabies. Oh
man.
my word. Like
they was throwing it out. I went when that game ended, all I kept hearing about was, oh, this, LaFleur is not who we thought he was, and Aaron Rodgers did this, and Aaron Rodgers did that, and I walked away saying to myself, like, it's one game. It's a 17-game season. You have people who think the Lions is getting ready to go 0-17. I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, there's still some winnable games, and nobody's looking at the fact that you cannot even name half our defensive players yet. We're holding some of the best teams to 19 points. Here's looking at you, Baltimore, who just got shellacked by the Bengals. But I'm just saying, it's one of them things where, the fans, and I blame fantasy football for it. I honestly do. I think fantasy football is the reason people play fantasy football, and then out of nowhere, because fantasy football and Pro Football Focus, I blame them too, because people swear by it. Pro Football Focus is the Bible. It's the most stupidest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. But between Pro Football Focus and fantasy football, that's why you have people burning down the whole entire town off of one game. It's ridiculous.
So I work in the customer service industry of serving people. I'm an IT guy. So you only call me when you need shit fixed. So you're already angry, right? And I also coach. So what you guys don't see on the backside of coaching is like all the 12, 13, 14 hours we put in each day to put a product on the field. And then the players get all the glory if you win, and the coaches get all the scrutiny when you lose. It's a bad game plan, yada yada yada. So first things first, if you are a NFL coach, you obviously know your crap. You have been around the block. You didn't blow your way to the top 9 times out of 10, aka Andy Reid's son. Sorry, shots fired a little early, but you're not very good. Also, Steve Spagnuolo.
Is he in jail now?
Probably for a DUI, manslaughter. I don't know what it is, but it's stupid, right? But with all that being said, I don't think you can put any blame on the coaches whatsoever, because they do spend hours putting in game plans, hours watching film. It, like, at the end of the day, it is the player's job, the professional athlete, to perform your job, right? Whether you are put in a bad position or not, it is your way to figure your way out of the box, right? Like, pull a Lamar Jackson and pull some hat trick like out of your butt, right? That is what you get paid millions upon millions of dollars to do. Granted, the coach can help you, put you in the right position, but at the end of the day, I think it falls on the players.
And if people are more honest about the talent versus coaching argument, they would understand that the coaching argument comes into play when you start to look at situational football. Like I said, the Lions against the Baltimore Ravens, everybody talks about, there was a delay of game penalty that was missed, and they talk about, how do you give up this big play down the end because you only rush 3, and that's, everybody knows prevent doesn't work. And again, this is where those Pro Football Focus, Madden, fantasy football players come into play, but nobody talks about the fact that, hey, the game could be over if they don't play conservative and play for the field goal and say, you know what, on 3rd and 9, we're going for the first. They never get the ball back. There's never a reason to ask about a delay of game. There's no kick to be had. They have no timeout. Game is over. Checkmate. We win. Situational football is what lets me know who the coach is. And there have been times where I have looked at games, and I'm not acting like I'm the hugest Matt Nagy fan. I'm not. But I have seen times where he's called the right play, and I know it's the right play, and I'm looking at the quarterback get destroyed, essentially because by the time they call the play, you look up, he's not sure where to go. That falls on the player. And so to me, I get to points where I try to get back to the basics of fandom. If you're going to be a fan, at least study and understand the game, understand what's going on. Even if you never played it, understand what's going on. I played it, so I watch every game like I'm finna play them next Sunday, right. And I'm treating it that way every week. And so to me, I think we can look at the coaching side of it and say, look, you can't give them all the praise when you want to because it's convenient, but then turn around and say, it's all-time Brady and Bill Belichick sucks as a head coach. It's just not true.
Not true at all. Well, Luke, as always, man, thank you for joining us here on your weekly Tuesday segment here. Guys, be sure to check out Luke G's Field Review on YouTube. Link is in the description. We also, if you go to our youtube.com/manhour on the homepage, I will link other channels on there as well once Luke shows me how to do that. So we are building a community here, and Luke G, we are glad you are part of our community, man. So as always, thank you.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, man. I mean, this is dope because I talk Lions all the time. I would love to talk all the other teams, but I'm like, we just so misunderstood. Like, it's just so terrible.
You can always join us, Luke, anytime you want to talk about the Green Bay Packers. Tori would love it.
I mean,
I know.
I love you like a brother already, Luke. So if you want to come over to the green and gold side, I will accept you with open arms.
Now that would never happen. I mean, in fact, as much as I love,
the proper response to that was absolutely, Tori, would love to do that. Just hook me up with tickets next year.
Oh, yeah. So it's like that. It's like that movie Inception. It's like you go into a dream of a dream, and you wake me up into a lie. I totally got it. Totally got it.
All right, guys, we are up against our first break here tonight. So sit back, relax, enjoy this, and we'll be right back here on the Man Hour. Is going to go out to all these. I use this term very, very loosely. Air quotes. Let's go ahead and get that up. Air quotes. NFL experts, right? Many of these NFL experts say that all these NFL trades are going to happen. Michael Gallup to this team, he can help them do this, this, and this, and this.